GM boss.
Good morning, everyone. Trust we had a lovely weekend. Sorry for joining late. So where did we stop? Oh yeah, last class I think we talked about introduction to Zion, right? And I think I can safely say that we can move past that stage at the moment, right? So today we would be venturing into customizing, writing smart contracts, and then interacting with the Zion blockchain. But the first question I want to ask is: are we all with like our system or gadgets or something? Because we are going to be working. I'll walk you guys through installing Zion on. Or I don't know if you guys have installed. If you have installed Zion on your device, please let me know. Just React or something. Okay, just one person. Okay.
No, he haven't installed. He brought his hand down.
He brought his hand down. I said React, but I'll take it as reaction. But okay.
Is he React? Like, do we know how to use React framework, or like, I don't understand?
No. I meant if you have installed the Zion. Okay. If you have installed the Zion dev environment on your local machine, right? You should React.
No.
Like use any of this what's it called now? Memojis. So I don't think we have, right. So let's get started. Although I do have it installed on my end. Let's see. We will screen one. All right. Yeah, we go. So yeah, last week we discussed on getting started with Zion, and then getting to understand some of the terminologies and things like the abstraction and all that, which, like I said earlier, I can say we can move past that stage at this point. So yeah, getting started, we need to install Rust and Cargo on our local machine, and then Rust is the language which we all know, and then Cargo is what is it called now? It's like it's more like the package manager also for Rust. So depending on your local machine, right? There is, for those using Windows. Let me see if I can show this. So why is it taking that? Okay. What is it? I know. Okay, so this should help. Sorry. So how do we do this? I have this installed on my own on my machine, right? But this guide should help for the you guys that are on Windows, and I believe that most of us here, if you're on Windows machine, please signify so we know where to pivot to. Okay, Windows. Yes, Obed. Okay. Sorry, what did you say?
I'm on window machine. I'm on window.
Oh, okay. I think how many of us has WSL installed? First question. Okay, so it should be easy. So thinking about it. So should I give? I should have. Sorry, I should have made mention of this like before the class that you guys should have installed setup. Right? I don't know where my Windows machine is. I would have liked to like. I would have loved to walk you guys through how it is done. But and then also, how many of us have Docker? By the way, just remember now, Docker is going to be needed for this. If you have not installed Docker, please do so. Right. And then you have VS Code already. Definitely. And yes. So there are ways you can run. You can use Zion uh, dev environment, right? One is through the Docker image, the Docker, yes, the Docker image, and you can make use of that. But personally, I use the binary. So on my terminal, I can do something like Zion G without requiring. Sorry, let me make this bigger. Without requiring Docker or anything. The only time I use Docker is when I'm trying to compile my contract, and we'll get there. But basically, I want you guys to the link I sent in the chat. You guys should check it out and then run the installation. But in order not to waste time, right? We would be moving from there. So on my system, I do have I have this installed. I have Docker, I have Go, I have Cargo and the likes, right? And this says let's check. Let me see my Cargo version. Um, is this clearer for everyone, or should I still zoom in? Can you guys see my terminal clearly?
We can all zoom in from our own ends now. Yeah,
Okay. First. So um Cargo version. So yeah, I have Cargo installed. I have everything installed and so everything I'm supposed to do. And then the work of Cargo, by the way, the work of Cargo generate is more of like a Git clone of a particular project. So when you're trying to create your smart contract directory, right? Sometimes you can just decide to do a single file, right? You have everything you want to do, everything your smart contract is supposed to entail on a single file. But for good practices, right? You should have, for example, the way you have in your not not so familiar with the React environment, but in your say Node.js environment, right? When you have your middleware, you write your middleware in a file called middleware.js, right? And then when you have some of your server configs and all that, you have some of them in your server.js. You have your package.json. You have almost everything like in structure. So basically, the work of Cargo Generate is to make sure that you have that file structure ready when you are developing. And Go is the language, and then what else? So yes, like I said, I use Zion D version. All right, so this is my version of Zion D. So please make sure that at the end of the day, if you cannot see the version of any of these programs you have installed, then something is wrong with your installation process. So please always make sure that you get to the point where you can get. Okay, yes, Olujimi.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So now, are you telling us that we have to install everything like one by one, like install, what's it called? We start from, where am I going to even start from? You
So
start
if
from
you
the
are
top,
using
install.
Windows, the link I sent to the group.
Yeah, I've checked it.
Sorry.
I'm already there before you even sent it. I have Rust on my PC.
Okay, fair.
I don't have Docker. Like I used to use Docker before, but I uninstalled it because it was making my system kind of slow. So I had to uninstall it.
Mm,
So I
mm.
have to install Go. I have to install Go again.
Yes,
Now after Go, I have to install Docker. Then install
yes.
Zion, or what is this one called?
Zion D. So this is
Yeah,
just to make
Zion.
sure that you can use Zion D on your local machine. So you can. Okay, wait. Okay,
Then
Johnson.
what is this reduced binary?
What did you say? Binaries.
This
Yeah, so it
FU,
depends on the method at which you want to use Zion D. Like I said, you can decide to go with the Docker format. You can decide to you see run Zion D with Docker, and then you can have the you can use build from source. So whichever method works for you. You don't have to do it exactly. Sorry, hold on. You don't have to do exactly everything. Are you with me? So if you are going to be running with Docker, just go with what you can do with Docker here. If you want to build from source, build from source. This is like the repo for Zion.
So if I clone the repository now, like it has Go everything inside of it.
No, you need Go to be in order to make use of this make. You should be familiar with make files now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you need there are make files in the repo. So you need make to store. Sure you get.
Okay, I like to divide it. Okay. Oh.
Johnson, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm a bit confused because I'm using Ubuntu. So I just want to ask, so if I install the Go on my Ubuntu,
Mm.
so it comes with the Docker, or the Docker is a different installation
No,
also?
Docker is a different installation. This is it. It has Docker. Jethro, shoot.
Okay, initially before the class started, I saw that we were going to install like 5 stores, Rust and Cargo,
Mm.
Cargo Generate, Go, Docker, and Zion D. So I already
So
had Rust and
yes,
Cargo, and then
okay,
I
interesting.
was installing Cargo Generate. Then I noticed that
Yeah.
my system was becoming very slow. And I prompted the ChatGPT to actually ask the compatibility of these stuffs with my system. And I noticed that I will need space and all for this because, as Adebakin initially said, he said Docker and Go are they need space for it to run. So I don't know. Is
Yes.
there, and you said we must install all these things before we can
I
actually
it's
use it.
so let me retract my statement. It is not how do I put it now? Yes, you do need Docker, you need Rust, you need Cargo. These are like essentials that are prerequisites to working with design developer environment or development environment. And the reason is for um, optimizing your contract, right? You need Docker. if you are building from source or that way, whatever your case might be. Sometimes building from source might not work for you, so you need the Docker environment to be live. So there are like three methods: building from source, using Docker, and then using the binary. So whatever one work for you. So the reason why you have to install this is just okay, Johnson.
No, sorry, I can continue, but I just want to ask, sorry, don't be angry. So the first step now, since we already have Rust and Cargo installed since from our
Yeah.
bootcamp, so all we just need to do now is to install the Go and the Docker, right?
Yes. I was attending to Jethro. I think it was yours attending to, right? So yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, I said there are different ways you could do this, but like for me as a Mac user, it is quite easy for me, right? And then I didn't even know that they already have a guide to Windows and WSL. So hence I dropped it already in the chat. Mm. So if you do sorry, if you already have WSL, it should be easy for you also. But note that you need these are the things you need, whether you like it or not. But I would speak to last time I spoke with someone from the Zion team about this. I think it was like 2, 3 months ago. But I'll follow up again and then ask if there could be something lightweight for developers, right? And also there is CargoWise. You can use CargoWise to convert your or to bundle your contract into a Wising file. Hence, it can come in place of Docker, but if your application cannot work without Docker, that is like if your installation cannot work without Docker, then Docker is needed. But if you can work without Docker, then you can use CargoWise. So CargoWise is like one of the defaults from Rust. It does exactly the same thing as the Docker optimization. So please, if you have issues, if you have questions, if you have anything to say, you can reach out to me. Mm. Can you guys
To
hear me?
install
Sorry.
Go now, like, can I just use the
I
command
think I went
like
to somewhere.
the CLI here,
Oh, shit.
or I should go and download it from their website? Hmm? Can you hear me?
Sorry, what did you say? To install Go.
I said, yeah, can I run the CLI like the I don't know. There is for Mac OS, there's for Debian, hey, there's Red Hat, and there's for Arch Linux.
What?
Or should we go and
What?
download it from their website?
Yes, from their website, please. Oh, shit.
Right. We have all of these things.
Should we are using Windows? You are using Windows.
Yes, yes, yes.
And your you said macOS, Debian, and all that. So just go to what's it called? Go official page. You should see it there.
But I use WSL. Can't I use any of these
Okay,
commands?
okay, yes, you can. You can. I didn't get that part, sorry. I thought it was just Windows. If you are running WSL, you need to use command because if you install it in Windows, it will not work. For which one? Sorry, Obed.
I mean the Go. He was trying to install the Go like from their website. But I was telling him to use the command so that because the Linux distribution and the Windows they are not the same thing. So you might find it difficult
Okay.
after installing it.
So if you guys have questions, you can reach out to me on Telegram. I can sort of help you. Okay. Um.
Are you design Nigeria Telegram group?
Yes. Are you there? Are you in Design Nigerian Telegram group?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Hold. I think this is it. Um. The Design Nigeria builders. So I think I can only share this. By the way. So yep. Okay. Should I still, while you guys are installing, should I still hold on? Let's talk about something. Give me what to talk about, or should we move forward? Because I don't want to leave anyone behind. Um, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir, we are hearing you. So we are trying to navigate so I can have the Go and the Docker installed on my Ubuntu. So I'm just trying to get around.
All right. Um,
But you can just be maybe moving forward, or you can just be talking more maybe about the contract, how it compiles, and how to integrate. Why we do this before we write the contract mainly. Yeah.
all right. All right. So I think first and foremost, you guys are familiar with Trust already at this point, right? So shouldn't be a big deal. Let me remove this from here, please. Um, okay. So let's see integrated development environment. We have JS code already, so that's what we'll be using. Um, so I think as soon as you guys are done with your development environment installation, I need you guys to install this on your VS code if you are using it. Rust Analyze, I think I have it. Yes. Yes. It's installing. I think I have it. Yes. Should be installed. Bible first. Why is it installing again? Okay, auto updates. That's fine. Okay. Think I do. What else? What else? Yes, code LLDB. So all these are for syntaxing and then to help you with sometimes autocomplete, auto suggestions when it comes to writing your Rust program. And then yes, Cosme Wasme. So yeah, with Cosme Wasme, I think yes, either Cosme Wasme or yes. With Cosme Wasm, you would have some. By the time we start our project, you would see some things on your VS Code. Fret not, fear not, because you're just getting started with the Cosm Wasm environment. So you see some things here that can help you. Things like initiate contract, instantiate contract, and whatnot, right? And so while we're doing this, right, while we're doing the installation, I want us to know that the smart contract works in three ways, right? Oh, sorry. So, number one, when you have a smart contract deployed, you need to instantiate. That is setting some kind of instructions on what on the contract. So it's more of like you are give me one question. It's more of like you are trying to key in some things in order to make sure that your program works. One, two is execute message. And execute message is what you'll be working with most of the time. Three is query. So you'll be working with both execute and query. And it's basically simple. So think of it like in your web tool, right? Your post and your get, or your post slash put slash patch request to your get request also. So query is like getting, executing contract is like posting to sending a push request, sending a put request, or a patch request to your backend. So basically that is just what the three of them do. And what else? What else have I not touched? So yes, also in this class today or and even tomorrow, we'll be working with the documentation. Because I know this guy mentioned that people don't want to work with documentation, but me, I'm going to force you to work with documentation because it is easy. And then it is very easy
Who
to.
said we are not working with documentation? We do work with it.
Not you. I'm saying you said some. What's his name? Where's this guy? Come outside.
Adebakin Bana, senior dev, we know they read. Now,
Come outside.
senior dev.
Come
Now, we
outside.
they read documentation. No mind Adebakin.
So yeah, we need. Where is it? Sorry. Where's my okay? We'll be working with the documentation to do something. Sorry, can you guys give me a second? Sorry, guys, I'm back. So we also talk about funding your contract. Sorry, I said contract. Your wallet created or your wallet address created, right? Because you cannot make a push to the blockchain. You cannot instantiate. You cannot deploy your contract to the blockchain without that contract in quotes being registered on the blockchain. So when we use this Zion, the keys add backing, right? We have this contract address, we have all these things, but it is not still registered on the blockchain. So the contract can do little or no actions, can perform little or no actions until it's registered on the blockchain. And how can it be registered on the blockchain? When we fund it. Luckily for us, we have a faucet on Zion. So where is the faucet page? Oh my god. Why is it opening on this? Okay. So we can try to fund your wallet address with Zion or USDC. It's how did you say? Union build. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Oh wow, interesting. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, what is union all about? Let me see. Who dropped this?
Okay,
Tech
mistakenly,
Explorer.
I wanted to send, I've sent the Zion
Okay, stop
process,
that much. Easy.
but here is they are collaborating with Zion.
Okay, okay. Fair, no problem. So how is the installation going? How is the installation going, everyone? Should
Yeah,
we
I'm installing the Docker now, so I'm
continue with the
installing the
contract
Docker
or
before
I
the
should still
Zion
give you
D.
guys? Because time is going. We have about how many minutes now? I have about some 40 plus minutes. Hmm? Okay. It's likely going to take time because I want us to also what's the word now? I want you guys to follow along when it comes to this contract of a thing that we'll be writing. So I came up with an idea that we should build, right? Because you guys wanted to build a startup in one day, like in our last class. So for what Sorry guys, network kicked me out. So how far about our installation? Johnson, Obed, Jethro, and I think Adebakin is supposed to be on this call, so is he not? Sorry, can you guys hear me? Okay, so should I continue because our time is fast spent, and then maybe by next class is tomorrow. We should have the installation up and running. So see if I can share my screen. Okay, so sorry, I need this picture to picture. All right, so can we get started? Because we have no time left. Okay, so let me create a directory. Yes, fight tech. Make directory fight tech. Okay, what else? Okay, so cargo. So this is cargo generate. Okay. So these are some of the, before I continue, sorry, these are some of the resources you could use. More book, yes. Before I forget, setting up the environment. So this could also be of help to every one of us. Yes, I was saying something here. So cargo generates. So there is a customizing template that we do use for cargo generate. Yes. Git. And then name would be, how should I call it? Send and would you like to generate the minimal template? False. Let's go with false. So yeah, this is how we use cargo generate. So whenever you're trying to start a new project, you're trying to initiate a new project and then whatnot, right? And then you need proper directory in place. So instead of you doing things manually, Cargo generates would use this template as a guide to creating structure for your project. So let me see. Let me put this here also in the group on the chat. So the name of your project could be for today. Name of the project is attendance, but you could add or use any name of your choice. So this is it. Sorry, I need to be seeing this guy. Picture. All right. Back here. Where am I? All right, so we have this, and then I think I can open a folder. Yes. I don't fight it. Oh, jeez. Okay, this should work itself. Ooh. Yeah, sorry. So this is our cargo. This is our folder structure that cargo generator has given us, and then our work will be mostly in SRC folder, source folder. So I think can I continue, guys? How far with the installation before we move on? Okay, Jetra has given me a guide. Johnson, Adebakin. I think Adebakin joins the call later again. All right. Or left. Okay. So this is the name of our project. Blah 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 blah. So because we're copying a template, right? So we would take this away. We do not need any of this at the moment. Empty slate. For now, we can post this to library. See. All right, I'll be back in.
But is this what the language looks like?
Is this what?
Like the code looks like?
Yes.
This is what I'm saying. So now the Zion language, let me say Zion language, it has its own macro, like different from Rust. Normally Rust now you have maybe at the top you can have the debug drive or something like that. This one I'm saying CFNG, or not feature all this.
Calm down. This is a framework of Rust. Are you with me? And this is not custom to Zion. So the same way you have Next.js, React.js for JavaScript.
I understand. I understand. You don't get what I'm saying. Like, look at all this this macro now. You can see some CFG attributes, not feature equal to library entry. All this voila.
So depending on your use case also, right? Zion has let me look for it here. Yes, they have audited contracts because before you can push your project to the mainnet, your contract needs to be audited and then you need to go through some 1 or 2 processes, right? So Zion has pre-audited contracts for you. So if you are building anything in the NFT space, there's something for you to just pick what you want, install, and then deploy the contract. If you are building a marketplace, if you are building a multi-sig, if you are doing DAOs, that's governance, right? So there's something for you guys can use it to build, can use it and then do as you can see here, see it here. So designed for use across chains like Zion, Juno, Neutron, and like so. Juno, Neutron are chains on Cosmos directory, like I shared last class. So if you are doing anything that has to do with Vault, so but basically your use case, if your use case falls in this line, you can make use of this contract. But and then you don't need to edit, or you just have to just deploy. But because we are going to be taking you, the purpose of this class is for you to understand how to interact with Zion and then building on Zion, right? We can't make use of an audited contract without you people understanding what and how things work, right? So I'm taking this one away. You don't mind. I think our code should be simple. I think our code should be simple. Yes. So I think errors, helpers, CW8 contract. Boom, 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 boom. I know I'll come back to you. Library, message, yes. State. So let's start with should we start with state or message? Okay, yes. Oh shit, my head is aching. What did I remove sorry from here? Yes, basically we need this, we need query responses. And also entry point or three main points of interaction with the smart contract. There are more, but the three main ones are instantiate message, execute message, and then the query message, right? So for instantiate message, so the purpose of instantiate message is to, when we deploy the contract, our project on the blockchain, right? It is in a state of invalidity until we instantiate the until instantiate the project, right? And then instantiating the project can mean, for example, we might decide to set wallet address as the admin of the contract. So means that whoever instantiates that contract can do some things later on with the contract and whatever you want to do, basically, right? Boom, 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 boom. We have schemas, CW showed. Okay. I think that explains that, right? Okay, so use using schema. Should we use okay. So we have CW thread. What else? I think we have okay. CW thread is fine. I think also. What else? What else? What else? I'm sorry, guys. Is W storage plus. So all these are like imports or import statements. Are you with me? Are you with me? Okay. So storage plus would have map, I think, yes. And then we should have item. What else? 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 Insert should give us serialize. Serialize. So, sorry guys. These import statements are for let's put it in relation to how you would have import React from React, import authenticator from authentication slash middleware.js and all that, right? So exactly what it is. Sorry. Okay. I do it. This is a message. So basically, if we were to have everything in a single file, we could have our state, we could have our message, we could have contracts and everything in one file, right? But in order to make things make sense, and then it will be easy when it comes to getting context as to what does what and what file is in charge of one or two things. So because we're in a message file, right? We need to make use of the instantiate message, instantiate, sorry, I'm coming, instantiate the query and the execute, right? So here we go, let's get started. Hey, and then public struct. I think we are familiar with struct keyword, right? Message. Okay. Message. So yeah, also note instantiate message is is what's it called now? Inbuilt. So it comes with your cosmosm like that. So yeah, things like the way your normal function. Let me think. Okay, yeah, the way you would have fetch as inbuilt on the JS ecosystem, right? So this is what instantiate message is also. Instantiate message, execute message, and query message, and some others they are inbuilt. They come with the framework itself. I mean, address. So what we're doing here is we're setting. Okay. Well, I'm supposed to have. Sorry. Hashtag derive. Serializing. Serialized. All these ones that I'm writing here, this what's it called? Derive and some entry points. Calm down, Adivaki. You could have them in a separate file, right? That you can revert back to when you need them. There is when it comes to the contract, we would use something like entry points. The contract itself. Partial. Okay. Debug. What else? All right. So the admin is going to be the teacher, and then he's setting his address as the initiator of the contract. What else could he add? Okay. Section name would also be a string. Right. Boom, 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 boom. So let me copy this guy back. Oh, sorry. So we already have something for our instantiate message. So let's go for the execute message. So public enum. Should be an enum of structure. Let's go with enum. Execute message. Okay. Why am I? So now execute message. That is like this is where execute message is where we would have our core logic of the application post. That's the application. Sorry, yes, the application of your contract. So it hosts the exact things you want the contract to do. So when the contract has been instantiated, and then since we are dealing with attendance, right, it should be marked as present, and then maybe what else? Maybe reset. I can hear that. I don't know why. Sorry, please. You guys should give me a second. I need to take water.
I did by key the tell mentor say making go sleep. We no deal. I mean, I just dey look everything, serialize, clone the bug, patch I got I will just suffer for this food. Chai.
Adeba,
I
you
just
will be senior dev. If he lost like this, how about us? We be say my doctor like
I
this.
just
If
dey
you
look
see
the
error,
share your own
Like,
docker. You don't read
you no
docker.
gree install.
Yeah,
Abi
I don't even know wetin dey happen since last week.
My own
me my
na
own
cargo
my
My own
generate
problem
like
long
this.
well.
I think say
my
that only
cargo
get problem.
generate no gree install.
No. The
See,
thing with cargo generate is say you go need to install one thing like that. Imagine a SLL or the SSA, one rubbish thing like that. If you don't
Yeah,
install
open
that,
SSL.
now you got to get that for your PC.
Now him I just dey try run around my see. I dey
That docker
try.
I
I
get am.
don't.
I dey use docker. I had to uninstall it because the thing too dey heavy for my PC. Like that's just the and I know they use am these days. Now why? Now check I did before today and install am. And now they call it top and docker. I don't fire.
No
So
tire.
one blockchain, you get plenty to where you go install. Wetin happen? You know dey.
It's just the process. Yeah. But after installation,
Because
you forget about it.
this process is too wahala. I get it.
Feedback received. I would let the people in charge know. Feedback received. Ekpele, sorry. So how far with it? What's his name? Johnson. Let me call back here. Where have you gotten to? Obed, any Edwin before we write cousin Martin?
I'm having a network problem, so maybe in the evening, during evening time, I will store my phone.
I can't even hear you. Sorry.
Okay. I said I'm having network issue here, so during the evening time, I will install it.
Okay. Mm. Mm. Johnson, Newco.
So I've installed the Go and the Docker, but the thing now is that cargo generator. So they're asking me of open SSL. So I'm trying to prompt so I can know how to go about it. Then before installing the Zion D.
Cargo generate.
Yeah, I'm using Ubuntu.
It's okay. Open SSL from my reading cargo generator without default dependencies. Exactly. Yeah, Mele. Sorry, why is this here? Did I vote for this? I didn't. Did I? Let me check. I go generate. How would I even get the version again? Sorry. Supposed to be.
So I don't know, maybe in order for we not to waste your time, since it's something we can just make research, maybe you can just continue, then we'll go through the videos when we do the installation and writing the contract again.
All right. So, but also I would make available I'll push the contract code and then I'll make it available for you guys to work with. So I execute messages present, mark as present. Okay. Mark as present. Should I use mark as present? Okay, let's do camel piece. I'm using it. Yeah. Right. And then we'd also have set attendance. This is my keyboard, John Digbo, reset attendance. One more thing that I did not add. Okay, yes. Shall I say within the third should be snake case. So I will explain what snake case is all about. Freight note. So basically, when you want to, there's something I did not do. Okay. Oh my God. Should work. Perfect. So yeah, when you want to interact with the contract, right? That is when you're trying to like pass, for example, this mark present. If we try to send a command, if we do not use this, if this is not there, this rename all as snake case. What we have as our JSON payload would be mark present. But with snake case, right? It will go back to would have something like this. Mark underscore present. So which is, I don't know, to me this makes sense to so we already have execute message. Next would be contract. So this mark as present would be what students or what you guys would these are the kind of messages that you guys would pass. While instantiate would probably be George as your instructor. So or it could even be me, and then I'll create this. Imagine my address would be here, and then the session name. So I could name the session FiTech 101, FiTech 301, FiTech Zion, or whatever the case might be, right? And then I think would have next would be. So let me just copy this. Like I said, I did backing. This you could get this. You could have this like in a separate folder, or separate file, or something that separate directory that you can revert back to in case you need to type it, or like you need to get to use it. Query message. So to query our message, we need to know who's the admin. This is always called constant. Get admin. Where is it? Get admin. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Yes, attendance list. Attendance list. Get attendance list. Right. We need to know if that full stop, if a specific student is marked as present. Is present. So I'm definitely going to check for ID backing student address and then to string. Please get me string. Thank you. I think that should be all for query message is present. Oh yes, we need session name. Get session name and 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So now we have instantiate, execute, and then query messages, right? But what's the word now? We still need to set a structure of the responses for what's it called now? For query message, right? So for example, when we're trying to get the attendance list, how we want the return data to look like, and whatnot, right? So let's get started. We have this, right? So struct. But please, I think we are familiar with enums, struct, and then some keywords from Rust, things like a vector, what else again? You're not, Jesus. Okay, wait. Did you guys take Rust class? I think you guys did take Rust class. Why, Adibaki, why are you laughing? Everybody here is
We were limited to a lot of things. Like the foundation is not basic. That's the truth. I think we stopped at struct, and then it was just a week intensive learning. I don't know whether you understand. If they can just carry you for like 3 days to tell you the basics of Rust, and then the next thing is Zion. That's the condition. It's only that's what I
I got this from a class. Let me see. There was one we did for. Let me see. I'm checking. Boom, 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 boom. When was I in Kaduna? This is when Kaduna. Did I? Oh, I think I already deleted. Otherwise, it's probably going to be. Is it this? Is it this? Not this. Check. So yes, I think this should help you guys. I don't know. Ownership, borrowing, vectors, global arrays, concurrency. So let me put this in. Where you to, sir? Tech Explorer. Why is this not just going far? So custom data types. I know. What else? I think let me check this L1 involved.
Oh God, when we go be like Mr. Noah? Oh God, help us with Rust.
Shoot. Why you like this? So I think yes, what would even happen is where I'm even going to is even far. Thank God I checked this now. This should be of help to you guys. So as you can see at the back end, we have all this here already. What I already had in my code. So these are like basic. So you could just have you can copy this and put it somewhere, and then when you need it, you just go back to it. So they're basically like somewhat entry points and then some constraints you set. So for example, now this serialize, but familiar with the concept of JSON already now. And then if you're coming from a Web2 background, you know how you can serialize data or you can pass data and then convert them to JSON and then other words. You get me? So okay, we'll come back to this. Exactly what I was saying. You could see that this particular code, we have everything in it, from initiate message, execute message, and then we now have like the initiate logic or instantiate logic. So what am I saying? Initiate, instantiate logic, and then we have execute logic. See, currently execute logic currently does nothing. So come on here. I think this would be good for you guys to work with. Let me see if I can. Let me copy it. So I go to Rust. So this was supposed to be. This is what. When was this created? Sorry, let me make this. This was supposed to be 2 months ago. This is May. I think March or so, right? And we're in Kaduna. This was supposed to be for you guys in Kaduna or Airborne. Yeah. So one of the two. And I think I didn't even end up using it. So you guys could work with this. This would be the contract we would work with, right? Because we could work with this. We could work with one line dropped. Let me see. Design for set. Not this. Boom, 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 boom. Your first contract. Okay, yes, there is a contract already from Zion that we can work with, counter contract, right? And then we do some optimization, upload the contract on chain. Should we copy this? I think to save time. We have how many minutes left? 8 or so. All right, so let's go with these guys then, for time's sake. But I don't know. Have I been able to pass anything across to you people? All right. Adebaki is always countering me. So Adebaki, have I been able to pass anything to you? Is he here? Okay, cool.
I've been looking at it. You know, what will I say like this? So yeah. But actually, this is the first time basically. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I get you.
So
When I
it's
started
kind of
also, it felt like what is this? Right. And then but the beauty of being programmers or being developers is that that versatility, right? You can at the end of the day find yourself doing something else, and then you need to pick up a language as fast as possible. You need to learn some terminologies, learn some frameworks as fast as possible, and all that is what, like, I think that's one of the things that also make us unique in, why are you laughing, in our field, right? So when I started with Rust and what's it called, Cosmos, I did not. So there's motivation. Yeah, well, we can call it motivation though. But let me put this to you. Rust, if you are for yes, if you guys work with type, I mean, of us work with TypeScript. I do not, but if you work with TypeScript, Rust should not be what's it called now? Rust should not be a major problem. So for example, now we are TypeScript for life. All right. I'm more familiar with the Yoruba language, right? And when someone speaks something that is a little bit off Yoruba, so for example, I think we have like some, I'm not a Yoruba boy, but I understand Yoruba, right? So, for example, now when someone speaks some things quite different from, it is Yoruba, but like maybe like some, if I call it further Yoruba, right? Um, the idea, there's no, at one point you would get an idea of what the person is saying, either by pronunciation or some things. So there are some ways, same thing. I'm not familiar with northern languages. Or have you guys heard Eno? So if you are familiar with Eno, so you would what's the word now? You would make a lot of mistakes when you're thinking you can understand some things. But back to the normal Yoruba, right? If it's like I can't relate. Okay. So let me put it like this, right? Like I asked, is anyone familiar with TypeScript, right? So when you start working with Rust, let me go back to, because I think if I'm using normal Nigerian languages, we spend the rest of the day. So with TypeScript now, TypeScript is quite similar to because it's also somewhat what's the word now? Strict when it comes to enforcing types and all those things, right? Which is what languages like Rust, Go, and what other, I think Rust and Go are still like the major high level languages when it comes to relation to C and assembly languages and all, right? So one thing I always advise is always compare whether even you're using TypeScript or not. Always try to compare what you're currently learning with what you already know. Because at the end of the day, it makes it easier for you to understand. So, for example, now when I work with struct, right? When I'm dealing with struct or enums, my knowledge of enums in the Web2 scene, my knowledge of struct in using types from TypeScript or whatsoever, right? I can easily relate that, okay, this is supposed to be somewhat type of a list. When I do vector, right? This is vector, and then do some, maybe my list is name or something, right? I already understand that a vector is a growable array. So it might be quite different, but if I'm dealing with this in Python, right, I can have an empty list. Why am I doing curly braces? I can say name is equals to this, right? And then at the end of the day, write some logics that would make sure that this list is also auto-populated and then it grows, right? So you just have to make sure that your current knowledge of some Web2 terminologies, you can align them and then like relate with them when it comes to using it in the Web3 scene. So for example, now we have something called state, right? So you can see state, item, and then new storage key state. All this might not make sense at the moment, but in Cosmwasm or in Zion, state is like your DB, like your models when you are doing when you are dealing with ORMs, right? So state is like your models, what exactly you pass or what exactly you save in memory. So for example, this is saving count, saving the owner, right? And then I can say item state new and then storage key. So this is more of like a key value pair situation. So your current knowledge of some of the Web2 terminologies would help you when you are like dealing with this. And I wanted to say something. What is it? What was it? Yes, if your fundamentals of programming is there, right? Doesn't have to be 100% solid, but if your fundamentals is there, meaning you can work with 1 or 2 frameworks, 3 frameworks in the Web2 scene before, then this should not be a problem. 2, we all love growth, except if we are comfortable with there's one thing they call it comfort zone. If you're comfortable with your comfort zone, then you might not see the need to like extend your knowledge, right? But as developers, we're always trying to like keep up with trends. We're always trying to learn new things, right? So by learning new things, your knowledge of the former would always tell when you're learning the present. So I think with this viewpoint of mine, I've been able to convince you that I am not good at TED Talks. So just manage what I could give you for now. Story, I think that's the end of the story. Do I have any other thing I want to talk about? So yeah, by tomorrow, we have our next class tomorrow, right? So by tomorrow, I thought I already dropped. Yes, did I drop? Yes. So you guys should check the snippet out and then follow the docs through and through. So by the time we're coming to class tomorrow, we are going to be deploying contracts. We've wasted a lot of time today installing and all right, which is, I won't call it wasted, sorry, but this is I'll call it progress, because good progress, bad progress, I don't know if there's progress. So we'll be moving to deploying our contract. So I would take you guys on, would follow this doc strand through. In another, how many minutes? 20, 30 minutes, we should be able to deploy a contract. It's not based on, the reason I say 30 minutes is based on interactions we'll be having in class and all that. So first, I really hope we could tomorrow. I really hope we could do a lot of things tomorrow so that I can certify that yes, even though you guys are still new to Rust and coding as in deploying the contract is not a problem. So for example, now if you are working with I think our last class we had different ideas, right? Marketplace, NFTs, and all, if I'm correct. So we could make use of the marketplace contract that's audited. And then we deploy the contract. So all that is going to be left to you guys is how you would work on the front end and then do something with it. You want to say something at the back?
I want follow my Gato. I can't know how far that marketplace. You still want to be marketplace like this.
With waiting at the see marketplace, no dey possible new.
It's somewhere, start from somewhere. So this snippet action should like help. Like this is random words generator. Should not should not be a big deal. It's a big deal, but not also a big deal. So
Yeah, let's just build small thing. I'm gonna leave that marketplace because even this Rust self.
I beg, Mr. Noah, if you do us one favor, like follow Mr. Sivas on talk. When I make you guys make you organize like 10 weeks boot camp, like the other guys they do like you see all this how they do it. About the teacher. But just apart like I just like hackathon is for people who already understand those stuff. Like they have to build. But bootcamp is to teach people.
So
like, from
last hackathon we had issues. Yeah, I get you, but we had issues with some developers not understanding a few things, right? So we had to. I think even before the hackathon, a week before the hackathon, we had about 4 classes or so, and then it's spanned into the hackathon. So we could say at the end of the day, during the hackathon, we had some classes to share, right? But we had this sessions. Was it? This is May, April, February, March. I think March also. Yes, March. We had the sessions March. So, but yeah, I would speak with him and then we'll see what we can do about it, right? Now, it's not happy that we'll now call what's it called? Bootcamp, and then I'll be looking for a day backing.
See, you just say there's bootcamp and you should post on the group I will not attend. What am I doing? I don't have work.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
No problem, not a big deal. So I'll reach out to Silverstone about it and then we'll see what we can do. And also I would reach out to Bon Tempo, that's like Zion General Devrel, Zion Global Devrel. Reach out to him and let him know about some of the issues you guys face when it comes to installation. If it can be simplified or if we can find something else to do.
And now simplify it just by just I beg this one I also need to have I beg.
No problem.
Now cargo generator install
Yeah, I get you. Johnson, you can admit now. Class has ended already. This is 11:30, so it's a free open space for
Okay, sir. Let's not lie for you. This Rust is not something that we can rush because all of us on this call that have stated this bootcamp now, we are very keen. This is our career. We are taking this as our career. So we wanted to ask for advice also in terms of this Rust because we know that Rust now, there are a lot of people kind of maybe running from Rust because it's kind of difficult. There are not much in Rust. So I wanted to ask, what is the time duration like? If you are to advise us now, time duration to learn Rust, like
time duration to learn Rust. To be very candid, right? I don't think I can give a time duration, and the reason is, at the end of the day, it all boils down back to individual learning ability. I would attempt to explain. So it all boils down back to individual's learning ability. I've seen people claim to learn Python for 4-5 months, right? And then when I started Python, under 3 months, I was able to like grasp the concept. So at the end of the day, it boils down to individual learning ability. It boils down to your environment, circumstances surrounding your learning, right? Maybe light, internet, and resources. it also boils down to your willingness to learn, right? So if you say you want to learn Rust every Friday, so you learn today Friday, you learn, and then after your learning, you do not like put into practice. Trust me, like you're not going to like retain a lot of information. So to be candid, I cannot say 3 months or 4 months or 5 months. Same way if I ask you, if I tell you, learn how long will it take to learn JavaScript? At the end of the day, it depends on the willingness of the what's it called now, of the learner, and then exposure to resources. Are you also trying to find out things by yourself? Are you trying to like get to know one or two things? Are you trying to? It's not just if I tell you that learn Rust. I dropped the book, Cousin Wazin book, right, on like a link. Okay, I think I left. Okay, this is it, right? If you check it out, you see some things that we already wrote here when it comes to Cousin Wazin, but if let's assume you are good with Rust and you are trying to learn coding, but like oh, trying to if you like, in fact, if you end up using AI to like generate code and all that, and you do not still understand, which has always been a problem in the tech ecosystem since AI came out, right? If you generate code and you do not understand what the code does exactly, and then maybe one or two things, there's a problem. So it boils down back to your learning ability, circumstances surrounding you, and all that. But I should say maybe roughly 6 months. You should by the end of 6 months. So looking at it by the end of what's it called now? By the end of the year, we can say, oh, Johnson has pushed 1 or 2 applications with Rust before, or he has pushed 1 or 2 smart contracts before, right? So always look at the long-term goal rather than the like immediate short term. If I tell you 1 week to learn Rust, will you believe me? Of course not. So, Tech Explorer on mute.
This one I want to ask you, does he
Yes.
have, should I say, different, like, when learning it, does he have a different phase whereby if you want to specialize in this part of program, this part, you have to learn this part, or you learn everything to understand it?
To understand Rust.
Yes.
Okay. So it boils down to whatever you want to do, right? So, for example, people learn JavaScript for mobile development only. People learn JavaScript for web development only. People learn JavaScript for backend development only. People learn it for like front-end development only. So it depends on your use case. So you could decide to learn Rust to build system programs rather than smart contracts. So it depends on your use case. But since we're like rooted towards the Web3 ecosystem, right? Immediately you're done with the basics, you move on to like frameworks, Rust smart contract framework. So for example, if you are using Anchor, if you want to be building on Anchor, I think Solana uses Anchor. So it depends on whatever use case you want to pick up, right? Let's see smart contract framework. Contract framework for Rust. So you see, we have like shit ton of this thing, Arbitrum, Substrate. So it depends on what you want to learn. Are you with me? So you see WASM compatibility. WASM is always Rust brother. Tight friend. Multiverse X. You see, we don't even have cousin WASM here. So it depends on what you want to learn. Are you with me? So basically that is it. Any other question, any other things to talk about? Okay, I think we are done. Adebaki, Abiola, Emerson. I think Emerson was in our last class.
You want to give us NFT?
Did they give you NFT? Go and video.
As I hear my I get now. I think I get. May I give you?
Adebaki, you see why I've been saying make we build marketplace startup so that we fit chop their money. Now I don't want making follow us, we build that marketplace. Now we know the ask for NFT.
The cargo generate is still away.
My long-term goals with that.
Yeah, no problem. As long as you are building, just let me know. Whatever you are building, let me know so we can align. And then if you need help getting to market and all that, I'm here for you.
Okay, thank
No problem. So you can, if you have
tomorrow.
questions, also, you can message me on TGO.
Then I will message you. I don't see
No,
for the
Allah.
team.
No, Allah. No
Thank
problem.
you.
All right. Um, don't worry. You guys see. There's something I should talk about when I'm probably learning something, or maybe when maybe I'm facing issues, right? I always think about the future. That okay, in the next 2-3 months, I should be done, right? So, for example, now, when you enter university, right, your mind is always set at one day I'll do convocation. Your mind might be set at, oh, I have tests tomorrow, but like you already know that the long-term goal is you have to leave the university, whether you like it or not, right? So, well, except if you want to be OTK, if you want to be an OTK, then you can continue to stay in the uni, right? So, always set your mind to the fact that these two shall pass. But be it physical problems, be it like things surrounding you, there's always it will pass. There are people that are owing people started from scratch, right? There are people that started from like zero and then now they're like somewhere. But like your current where you are currently was not where you were 3 months ago. No matter how you think about it, whatever we did today, it might be minute, it might be very small, but you might have picked something. And then you won't know when next you will use it. You just know that the way the brain works is very, very funny. You might think it has disposed that information, but no. There's a time that will come that you would understand one or two things. So that's the way it is. Adiba, can you say something?
No, I'm cool.
All right.
So thank you very much for the advice, because it's true that is what you're saying is very, very true, because most of us here 3 months ago we were just writing React, but as of
Mhm.
today we are, by God's grace, we are writing Solidity and even integrating it with front end. So I think it's matter of time. We'll just go
Matter of
back
time.
and we'll
Yes.
go back and work on ourselves before tomorrow
Two,
also.
3 months time, you guys should be writing, you should be deploying on Zion. You must, it's not you should, you must be deploying on Zion.
Amen.
Yeah, now,
Sure.
not the
Yeah.
problem. All right, guys. I think next class is tomorrow, same time, same station. See you next time. Yeah.